Winter Storm Elliott blew across the country this holiday weekend, bringing freezing cold temperatures, wind, and snow to the Cleveland area. The only thing the Saints are focused on this Christmas is getting out of the land and back home with a win. Welcome into Saints Game Day Live, presented by Sanderson Farms. I'm Erin Summers, and yes, it is windy, it is snowy, and it is cold in Cleveland. We have a lot on store for today's pregame show. I'm catching up with former Saints running back Deuce McAllister for the breakdown. We'll check in with a couple Saints players who gave back to the community this holiday season, and we'll see what's going on with the black and gold and the black and gold roll call. This game is a noon Central kick on CBS. You can watch it there. We'll be here live from First Energy Stadium. Let's get things started with the countdown to kickoff presented by Bullseye. It's shaping up to be the coldest game the Saints have ever played in franchise history. Temperatures as low as -20 with the wind chill. There's going to be snow throughout the game and gusts up to 60 miles per hour. Head coach Dennis Allen said, it doesn't matter so much about the cold, it's the wind that's going to be the biggest factor in this game. With those gusts of wind, the passing game could be unpredictable. The Saints are going to have to rely on the run. It's something that the Browns do really well, led by running back Nick Chubb. He's the third leading rusher in the league. And quarterback Deshaun Watson is a mobile quarterback. He's really good on his legs. We'll see how the Saints fare after allowing 230 rushing yards on the ground last week to Atlanta. Saints will have to be disciplined in their run game and make sure they're getting off the field as much as they possibly can. I talked to a few of the defensemen, and they said that they want to spend as little time out here in the conditions. So one way to do that, make those third down stops and get back to the heaters on the bench. For the Saints, they want to establish the run game themselves, led by running back Alvin Kamara and tight end Taysom Hill. They combined for 121 yards last week against Atlanta. The Browns, they're the 8th worst team in the league in rushing yards allowed, with about 133 per game. We'll see how the matchup fares there, but definitely expect a lot of running game in this one. The wind could also affect the kicking game. That's punts, kickoffs, and field goals. If the Saints are going to settle for field goals, they need to make sure they're getting kicker Will Lutz as close as possible. It is going to be an interesting one. It's going to be about in-game adjustments, how quickly you can adjust to the weather conditions, as the wind is going to be unpredictable. And then whoever is the mentally tougher team. It all starts at 12 o'clock. It's going to be a fun one to watch. We're going to check in now and see who's in or out of this game with the Inactives by Louisiana Cat. Cornerback Marshawn Lattimore is going to miss his 10th game this season. It was the third week in a row he's been listed as questionable coming into play today, but unable to go. He joins already, we knew, wide receiver Chris Olave is going to be out, linebacker Pete Werner, and running back Dwayne Washington. With Olave out, Kirk Merritt has been added to the 53-man roster to help bolster some of the wide receiving core. However, don't know how much that's going to come into play today considering the weather. A couple other players that are listed as out: safety Marcus May and defensive end Peyton Turner. Big ones that were questionable coming into today. Earlier this week, I was able to catch up with Saints Hall of Famer running back Deuce McAllister in the breakdown presented by Microsoft Teams. We talk about this matchup and what he expects to see from the Saints and the Browns. Welcome to the breakdown presented by Microsoft Teams. I'm Erin Summers, joined by Saints legend, Hall of Famer, and current radio analyst Deuce McAllister. How are you doing today?
Doing good. How are you guys doing?
Deuce, how much do you think that the weather conditions, the possible temperature, and the wind could have a factor or impact on this game?
Well, it's going to have an impact. It's going to be a factor. I mean, I would be kind of fibbing if I said that it would not have any impact at all. I mean, when you look at it, there's got to be a football game played. You wish the elements were better, but they won't, and both teams will have to deal with it. I mean, one team is used to at least being in it a little bit more, that being the Cleveland Browns, but they don't play in this type of element or weather on a daily basis, so they will have to deal with it. So from a mental standpoint, you've got to go out there and deal with that.
I think the run game is going to be extremely important in this one, stopping it from defensive side, and then
establishing it for the Saints. It's been something that the Saints have continued to talk about this season. How can they get their run game going to help in the elements and just to help establish their game in general?
Well, I think this is where you talk about from a Taysom Hill standpoint, Alvin Kamara, even David Johnson, and, we'll see if Benjamin is up. But all of those guys will get touches if they're up. Dwayne Washington, he's been sick this week. Be interesting to see if he's actually available for the game. But if he is, he's another guy that will get touches as far as from a running back perspective. And so you've got to be able to slow it down. You've got to be able to stop it. This Cleveland defense has not done a great job of stopping the run. So that's normally a conducive situation. And if the elements were not so bad, then I would feel really good about running it. But, at the same time, you're going to have to try to deal with those elements, and not having your starting right guard, Cesar Ruiz, is definitely going to hurt in that aspect. But I look for them to kind of play a heavy offensive line set anyway, regardless, just because you'll use that to your advantage.
On the other side of it, mobile quarterback Deshaun Watson is going to be taking on his 4th game at the helm there for the Browns after missing the first 11. And then he has somebody that's one of the best in the league on the ground in Nick Chubb. How challenging is it going to be for the Saints to stop them?
Well, it's a big challenge. It's a big challenge for the Saints to be able to slow that offense down. Their run game, obviously ranks up there high as one of the tops in the league, and they're going to be dealing with some of the same things that we talked about, vice versa, as far as the Saints having to run the ball, trying to control the clock, and trying to stop that run game. And so Deshaun, I'm interested. I'm interested to see how he handles those elements. Like we talked about, we know this is only his 4th game. He's a quarterback that has played traditionally in a dome, and so now he will be dealing with the elements of outside, trying to throw the football, trying to control the football, different things of that nature. And so I'm interested to see how he kind of handles that. But the number one person you talked about is Nick Chubb.
I am looking forward to it. It's going to be a fun one. I know that you were cold. You were complaining about the cold in Pittsburgh, so I know you can't wait for it either.
I will be layered a lot different than I was in Pittsburgh. And so, I wasn't very happy and pleased in Pittsburgh, but hopefully I'm a lot better prepared this weekend.
All right, we'll see you there. Cannot wait for the Saints at the Browns this Saturday. This has been The Breakdown, presented by Microsoft Teams.
Since it's a holiday weekend, we decided to do this player spotlight a little bit different. Presented by Sanderson Farms, we have 2 players that held fun events to give back to the community this week, and wide receiver Michael Thomas and guard Andrus Peat. Check out their events.
What's up, guys? Happy holidays. First and foremost, I just wanted to do something special for you guys. Throw a little party, give you guys a couple gifts. Merry Christmas. Yes, sir. Kids are everything. I was once that age, a dreamer, wanted to be in this position, and just being able to be here today and still pave the way and lead by example and influence these kids means the world to me. Quarterback? One day I could be the receiver, you be the quarterback. What number you want to wear? You gotta know, you gotta see yourself doing it. 8? All right. Can't wait to see it. My boy.
A superstar came in today. Michael Thomas showed out for the kids, gave us bags and jerseys.
Got some new nice jerseys.
Got autographs.
Yeah, it was a great experience. You don't get to experience something like that every day.
He gave us bags.
What's up, bro? Merry Christmas.
He gave us Visa gift cards for us to spend. Canes, he showed out.
I'm Andrus Peat, and I wanted to thank everyone for coming out tonight. It's a Peace Purpose baby shower. Wanted to wish everyone a happy holidays.
Tonight we had the extreme pleasure of celebrating with 12 expecting women in New Orleans, Louisiana.
main things for us was, we became first-time parents last year, and there was just so many things you have to think about. And
it's a special, we have a special place in our heart for, doing this for you guys, and we just want everyone to enjoy it and, have fellowship.
And we are so excited to keep this journey going with them and their upcoming babies. Happy holidays.
Make sure to download the ASAP app. Get all of your game day needs delivered to your door. Use code SAINTS22 to score free delivery, tickets, autographed items, and more. ASAP. It's the official mobile ordering app of the New Orleans Saints. For the Black and Gold Roll Call today, we're checking in with Saints fans from across the NFL season so far. Here are some of the best Saints fans out there in the Black and Gold Roll Call, presented by Bud Light.
Go Saints!
Go Saints! Go Saints! Go Saints!
Go Saints! Let's go.
Thanks for joining us on this pregame edition of Saints Game Day Live, right here from Cleveland. Yeah, it's still windy, it's still cold, and it is still a little bit snowy out here. Enjoy watching the game from the warmth of your homes. We'll be back with the post-game show after this one wraps up right here on NewOrleansSaints.com. Happy holidays, everybody.